So welcome to Gracie Mansion. This is the first room, Peach Room it's called. It's used a great deal by the mayor and first lady for meetings. But what you're looking at is a story of addition. It's not about subtraction. It's telling a fuller, richer story of New York in 1799 when the house was built. We respected the fabric and the furniture and the wall surfaces that had been done since '81, and it was always intended that the art and artifacts shift once in a while to tell different stories about New York's past. This painting over here is perhaps the ideal metaphor for that. It's called the Tontine Coffee House. Corner of Wall Street and Water Street. The pier over here, what you call Pier 17, where South Street Seaport, it was in fact called the Meal, M-E-A-L market, and it was what it really was is the second biggest slave market in America after Charleston. So it was right at the foot of Wall Street.
Directly behind you, we have a sculpture entitled Stitch, 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 which represents the working class. That sculpture in particular is depicting child labor, particular to the garment and textile industry, and also the immigrant experience. We have two abolitionists. So we have Frederick Douglass and lesser known Henry Bibb. The slave trade would have been one of the formidable pillars that would have also been a part of the early economy for New York City.
There's a very beautiful dining room you can see later. Now we're in the 1799 house. We're in the Gracie House, and you can tell it's a federal period house. No one really knows what it looked like. It's not like Monticello or Mount Vernon. There's no documentation. So it's everything that's been done since '81 is approximation and informed guess. That perhaps the high point of this room are this, I think, charming series called the Cries of New York, which was done by a Neapolitan immigrant called Nicolino Callio. It's in the brochure you have. And he depicted 35 of street vendors, street workers. New York was extremely cacophonous. A lot of people don't realize. In this period, besides the horses, the cries, the vendors in the street. That's the melon vendor.
These pieces represent indigenous groups that would have been in the New York area. The pot is dated between 1400 and 1600 AD. It represents the Eastern Woodlands tradition in pottery. The piece tomahawk is from the 1800s, and as well as the glass beads. This
is our George Washington. It's always been in the house, and we gave it a more prominent place. It's 1883. It was a statuette done for the centennial of the Constitution, which, of course, among many other things, George Washington accomplished, and he's paired with Lafayette.
This is a painting by an artist named Louisa Ann Pullman. It was painted in 1853, but it depicts downtown Brooklyn in 1820. This was an act that was instituted in that year, the same year that Gracie Mansion was built, that essentially said that any children born of a slave past 1799 would be gradually emancipated. So 25 for women and 28 for men.